The 1960s is often hugely romanticised. It was one of my favourite periods for fashion, but perhaps more than anything else, the reason the 60s stands out for me was it was the decade when the future started to be the priority rather than the past. From the 20s through to the 50s, fashion generally had looked to the past for inspiration, whether it's to 19th century portraiture or to the 18th century French court. In the 60s, things changed, and it was about the idea of the 21st century. It was about the globe, the world, the universe. It was a much broader message, and fashion was really integral to that process. Courreges, in particular, with this suit here, his first collection was called Moon Girl of 1964. You had Stanley Kubrick, 2001: A Space Odyssey. You had Barbarella. You had Star Trek. Throughout all forms of culture and design, it was about the race for space. Now, Courreges, in particular, loved the idea of modernism. He was an haute couturier at the very top of the game. He had trained with Balenciaga, and he wanted to turn his back on haute couture. For him, it was about the modern woman, the real woman, the woman in the street. Now, he went on record saying that haute couture was anathema, that he wanted to work in pret-a-porter, he wanted to go into mass production, and his approach to clothing was very different. Here was the double welted seam. Here was thick wool gabardine that was incredibly resilient. He didn't want chiffons. He didn't want everything to be from the process of flou, of the haute couture Parisian notion of a diaphanous sensibility. He wanted clothes that he felt would be worn in the 21st century. Now, normally when you look back at pathé newsreels from the 50s and 60s, and when people imagine what the future will hold, it's flying cars and jetpacks and this ridiculous idea of change. But Courreges nailed it, because every woman today does want to wear his designs from the 1960s. Every woman does want a practical dress that's hard wearing, that's a single block colour that you can wear during the day, that you can wear at night. That idea, that design sensibility, based upon his approach of engineering, based upon his idea of the future, absolutely held true.